Look at Jesus. Jesus is standing before angry people who are yelling and saying mean, hurtful things to him. They scream at him. Some of them tell lies about him, saying that he did bad things. But Jesus stays quiet. Even though he knows that he will be hurt, he knows that God is with him. He even asks God to help him forgive the people who are yelling and telling lies about him. Look at your heart. Has anyone ever said mean or hurtful things about you? Or has anyone ever told a lie about you? If someone did that to you, look at your heart and see how you felt. Maybe you were scared or hurt, or maybe you felt very angry. When you see how you felt, show your heart to Jesus. See Jesus loving you when you show him that happened in your heart. Then, when you are ready, you can ask Jesus to help and make your heart more like his. Maybe you want to ask Jesus to help you to remember that God is always with you.
Second station. Look at Jesus. When the soldiers put a big heavy cross on Jesus' shoulders, Jesus doesn't fight with them or say angry words at them. He knows that he has to carry this cross a long way, and he knows that the way will be very hard for him at times. But Jesus knows that God is with him, and he asks God to help him carry this cross, even though it is heavy. Look at your heart. Have you ever had something happen that was very hard for you? Sometimes children are very sick, or someone in their family is very sick. Sometimes adults or older children do not treat younger children nicely. Sometimes we just can't have things the way we want them. Take some time to look at your heart, what your heart is like when this happens. Then when you see what your heart is like, show your heart to Jesus. See Jesus loving you when you show him what happens in your heart. When you are ready, you can ask Jesus to make your heart more like his.
Third station. Look at Jesus. Jesus is so tired as he walks around the road with the heavy cross on his shoulders. The cross keeps pushing into his shoulder, and the stones on the road hurt his feet. People yell at him, push him. The soldiers shout for him to move faster. Then Jesus falls, and the soldiers yell at him more. How tired Jesus is. Jesus prays in his heart, God, help me remember that you are here. Look at your heart. Did you ever fall when you were playing or when you were helping with something? Falling really hurts, doesn't it? When people make mistakes, it feels like it is like falling. And when that happens, their heart sometimes feels like it is hurt. Can you remember a time when your heart felt hurt? As you remember that time and look at how your heart felt. Show your heart to Jesus. See Jesus loving you as you show him your heart. When you are ready, you can ask Jesus to help make your heart more like his.
Station number 4. Jesus meets his mother. As Jesus walks slowly with the cross on his shoulders, a woman comes up to him. As Jesus' mother, Mary. How sad for them to see each other now. Mary feels so sad because she sees how much he is suffering, and Jesus sees the sadness Mary feels. Even though they both know that God is with them, they can't even say anything to each other because they are so sad.
Jesus is so tired that the soldiers know he cannot carry the heavy cross by himself, so they look around to see someone who looks strong enough to help Jesus carry this cross. This person's name is Simon. Jesus just looks at Simon and quietly whispers, "Thank you," to Simon. Then they continue on the long road carrying the cross together.
Sixth station. Look at Jesus. Jesus is hot, tired, and sweating. His hair is all tangled, and he is covered in dust from the long walk. Suddenly, a woman pushes her way out of the crowd and stands in front of Jesus. She takes a clean cloth and gently wipes Jesus' face. Jesus is so thankful that he leaves a picture of his face on her cloth. Look at your heart. Have you ever helped someone? Have you ever done something that helped someone feel better? Sometimes you may have done something that you thought was very small or unimportant, bringing a glass of water or juice to someone, or even giving someone a helping hand with a chore. Maybe you just smiled at someone who looked sad. As you think of the times you helped, show Jesus your heart. As you picture Jesus loving you, maybe you can also picture Jesus leaving a picture of his face on your heart. What a wonderful heart you have.
Séptima estación, Jesús cae por siguiente vez. Séptima estación, mira a Jesús. Qué cansado, débil y triste está Jesús. Ahora aún sigue tratando de caminar con la pesada cruz. Simplemente no puede seguir adelante. El ruido de la multitud y de los soldados lo hace sentir aún peor. Luego Jesús cae porque no puede dar otros pasos. Mira tu corazón. ¿Alguna vez has tenido dificultades con algo? Tal vez tú no puedes hacer algo de la manera que quieras o te sientes como si eras aburrido. Algo como se siente tu corazón cuando eso sucede. Tal vez un corazón se siente como se sintió el corazón de Jesús cuando cayó por siguiente vez. Cuando le muestres a Jesús cómo se sintió tu corazón, imagina a Jesús amándote. Jesús sabe cómo se sintió tu corazón. Su corazón probablemente sintió lo mismo.
Eighth station. Look at Jesus. After Jesus gets up, he continues on the road carrying his heavy cross. He passes some women who are crying because they are so sad to see Jesus suffer. But instead of thinking only of himself and how bad he feels, Jesus tells the women not to keep crying because of him. He tells them, instead, to take care of others and especially to take care of their children. Look at your heart. Sometimes it is easy to just think about ourselves, about what is not going the way we want it, or about problems that we have. It is very hard, then, to think about other people. How does your heart look when you do that, when you think only about yourself? Show your heart to Jesus and picture Jesus loving you with your heart that way. When you are ready, can you ask Jesus to help you have a heart like his, a heart that thinks about other people and remembers other people? That's the kind of heart Jesus has.
Ninth station. Look at Jesus. Jesus is so tired now that he can hardly take another step. It is hard for him to breathe. He has been walking a long time along the dusty road, and he has no energy left. He just can't go on anymore. Then Jesus falls down in the street for the third time. He is so very tired. Jesus asks God to help him, and Jesus gets up again even though it is hard for him to do. Look at your heart. When we have really tried our best and have not been able to succeed, it is easy to feel like Jesus did. Sometimes other people just keep yelling about something we do, or sometimes other people make fun of the way we do something. Can you remember a time when you felt this tired in your heart, when you seemed to be having a sad or hard time with someone or something? Look at how your heart felt and show your heart to Jesus. When you are ready, ask God to help you when you feel this way.
Tenth station. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Look at Jesus. Finally, Jesus reaches the hill that is the end of the road. He has to walk. Jesus knows that he will die here. But before he dies, the soldiers will do more to him. They pull off his long robe and almost all his clothes are taken from him. Jesus stands in front of the crowd with only a small piece of cloth covering part of his body. Jesus asks God to help him remember that he is not alone, that God is with him through all this. Look at your heart. Is it hard for you to share or give away something that you like? Do you sometimes like keeping everything to yourself? Do you ever let something of yours be the reason for bad feelings or bad words between you and someone else? If you remember a time when something like this happened, remember how your heart felt, then show your heart to Jesus. You can ask Jesus to help you have a heart that is like his heart.
Over station. Look at Jesus. How much Jesus hurts as the soldiers nail him to the cross. He hurts all over. He is tired and thirsty. He knows that he is going to die, but he looks at the people who have hurt him, and instead of saying bad things to those people, Jesus asks God to forgive them. He looks at his mother and tells her to take care of others. Even when he is dying, Jesus is thinking of other people. Finally, after the long walk, after falling 3 times, after having the men beat him, after being nailed to the cross and suffering on the cross, Jesus bows his head and dies. Now this part of his life is over. There is nothing left for Jesus to give or to do. Jesus has given his life for all of us.
13th station, look at Jesus. Now Jesus' lifeless body is taken down from the cross. No more pain or suffering for Jesus. All the pain is over. Mary, Jesus' mother, holds him tenderly in her arms. How sad she is. And how sad Jesus' friends are. They are crying as they hold his body. Look at your heart. Is there someone you love who has died? When you remember that person, how does your heart look? You can show your heart to Jesus and show Jesus that you miss about the person who died. Jesus knows that your heart looks like and loves you. When you show him your heart, you can even help your heart become more like his. Jesus' friends washed his body and wrapped it in a clean sheet. They touched his body gently, and then they put his body into a tomb. When they are finished, they push a very large stone over the entrance so that no one can go inside. Now there is darkness in the tomb where Jesus body lies, and all of his friends go home because they are very sad and tired.
Days after Jesus' body was laid in the tomb, he rose to new life. What a wonderful surprise for his friends. When they see that he was alive, his body is like a new kind of body, full of life. And he is no longer tired, sad, or suffering. He has no more pain. Yes, he is alive in a new and special way. Jesus will live forever now in this new special way. Jesus is raised from the dead. Jesus is alive. Look at your heart. As you pray each of the stations of the cross, think about what Jesus might be feeling. Also, think about times in your life where you might feel sad or hurt or tired or angry. And understand everything that Jesus did for us. And then consider what a great gift Jesus gave us in his death and in his rising to new life.